Five.
Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Daily Guna. It is good to be back. It's been a while. I've had a hiatus for the last 7 months, but we won't talk about that. The boys worked hard while I was away and sorting my life out, but now we are back, and there's a lot to discuss, isn't there, Sammy? There's
Oh,
a few things that have happened since we've been away.
yeah, just a few.
Yeah, so in this episode, we'll be talking about preseason, which has gone swimmingly well. I would suggest. Uh, what shape is the squad in? I think it's in half decent shape. We've got transfers, ins and outs. We haven't spoken about anything, so we're all good to go on that. Me and Sammy will be making our season predictions, which last year didn't go very well, did it?
Jesus, no, no.
And yeah, and then we'll be talking about the Palace game, which is in 2 days. And I think we might touch on tomorrow night, all or nothing, if
Yeah,
Sammy fancies it at the end.
well, we'll see. We'll
So
see
yeah,
what happens.
so so yeah, let's get straight into it, mate. First, first things first. How many wins did we get preseason? 5 out of 5. 24, 5 goals scored, 2 conceded.
Yeah, we'll go along the lines of that. Well, especially if you discount that Brentford behind closed doors, but less said about that, the better.
Oh, I forgot that happened. I'm not gonna lie to you. Can't lie. But yeah, preseason went well. Finished it incredibly well with a 4-0 win against Chelsea and the 6-0 against Sevilla at the Emirates in front of yourself. How
Mm.
did you how did you find our two performances there?
Yeah, well, I'll start with Chelsea first and foremost. I think Chelsea, especially first half, we pressed the living life out of them, and they couldn't get out their own half. And I think if that's going to be the standard of how we're going into the season, I think a lot of teams are going to really struggle, especially at the Emirates. We're definitely going to press teams into making mistakes, and I believe that the way that we are going at the moment, we're definitely heading in the right way. And I think you've got to take into consideration the majority of this squad that we've got now, which we'll probably go into a bit more depth later. It's another year under their belt, so they know what's expected of them. They know how to execute the plan, so to speak. It's just a case of making sure the team has that cohesion and everyone goes at once rather than one goes, then the other goes. Or when we had my favoured person here, Laka, we try and press and he's back on the halfway line. It's actually enjoyable to see a um a striker that's mobile up top and one that's got the ability to um the ability and the intelligence as to when to press and when not to press and when to conserve energy and when to explode. It's refreshing to see, to be honest.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more. I didn't actually watch the Chelsea game. I can't lie. I worked the next day and I was gone, so I didn't see it. But from the highlights, I thought the way the front three worked and interchanged with Odegaard and the way they all linked was just so refreshing to see. I haven't seen Arsenal link their front line like that since probably when Fabregas was with Nasri and RVP.
Mm.
That is it the 2010 season. I've never seen pace, power. Saka looked good. Martinelli looked good. That sort of thing. And I think it carried over into the Sevilla game, didn't it? You saw it firsthand. Like blew them away in the first 15 minutes.
Yeah, that was phenomenal to say the least. The way that again the front three pressed, and then you got the midfield squeezing the gaps. Seville didn't know whether they were coming or going. Their head was on a spin, and you just think Jesus home debut, so to speak, hat trick. Couldn't ask for more from him. And then what else? Saka. Saka was brilliant. Martinelli brilliant. It's just the whole team performance was superb. Usually, when going to the Emirates Cup, I'm not really a fan because I call it
Hmm.
the family day out because there's lots of kids. You know, you don't really get into it as much, but that performance, it didn't give you any other option but to get into it and enjoy it. And I think for especially for the younger generation coming through, that's pleasing to see. And for kids' first time, it's it's brilliant to see. I think that we we definitely are on the right course. The way that Wenger's teams used to entice younger generations in, I think that that time is coming back. I know there's more choice, but I think realistically, people say Arsenal, they say class, they say good quality football, and that's what we're seeing right now. And I just hope it transfers over into the league.
Yeah, there's a couple of things from that Sevilla game that I fell in love with. The first one was Saka and Martinelli interchanging,
Hmm.
and you know from our group chats and what else. Towards the back end of the season, that was my biggest gripe with our wingers. They were so predictable. And then in the last two games, Chelsea and Sevilla, they interchanged. They ended up on different sides. Martinelli was on the right, Saka was on the left. Saka even got his second goal from being on the left
Yeah.
because he closed down the right sided centre back and he scored from it. So I think that's what they need to do, that consistently. Just give the fullbacks different problems. Because when the fullbacks know you're going to cut inside, it's just too easy to defend. And the other thing I liked is how solid the defense is. I said on Twitter, I don't think Tierney's getting his spot back. Zinchenko looks too comfortable already.
Yeah.
Saliba looks too comfortable already. Ben White right back.
It's not
It's
bad.
it's it's looking good, Briv. It's looking good.
Let's talk about Saliba for a second because
Oh, that's my favorite topic. Let's do it.
for me, I knew this guy was good, but my life. Do you remember when we went last time and when we saw Thomas Partey and we was just like,
Hmm.
oh my god, this geezer is an absolute Rolls Royce. When I say I got that vibe, I got that vibe times three with Saliba. It's with him, he just exudes confidence. The back line is solid. His English is quality. He literally he commanded that back line, and you think he commanded it, Gabriel commanded it, Ben White from right back, he was vocal. Then you got Zinchenko just doing like things that do you know what? I heard a phrase today with Zinchenko. He is the Ukrainian Kimmich. He's that
Yeah,
guy. Do you know what I
yeah,
mean? And
yeah,
I think with him slotting in, he sprays the diagonal pass as well, which gives us so much more, and it puts the other team on the immediate defense because they'll try and push onto us down one side. We'll switch it out to Sinchenko. He'll come forward a little bit. They're all shuffling over, and he's like, "Nah, you know what? Bosh, there you go. That's where the space is. That's where the play is." And then that leaves, say, Saka one on one with a fullback, or not even a fullback, a centre back. And then you've got the pace of Jesus, Martinelli. If you change it up, you've got Nketiah, Smith Rowe. Do you know it's good to see because I believe we're going to get so many goals from that, so many, and we're seeing it as well. And then you factor in Erdegaard and you give him space because teams are already on the back foot. He's in between the lines. He's able to have that bit of space, pick his head up, pick a pass, wait it. It's just like, oof, my life.
yeah. You haven't said anything I disagree with yet, so it's a good start.
Yeah.
But I just want to give myself some flowers on this on Saliba. I saw this from very very early.
Mm.
He hadn't even played a game yet. He hadn't even come back from St Etienne, and I had his name on my shirt.
Yeah,
I was
remember
I
that.
was ready. I was ready.
It was primed. It
But
was like,
yeah,
yes, this is me.
I knew it. I knew it from the beginning. But I'm not going to gloat anymore. But there we are. Moving on. We said a lot of names just there. The squad. It was announced today that Bert Leno, was it last night? Last
Yeah,
night, Bert
yesterday.
Leno was announced that he had left. Balogun's gone loan to Stade Reims, which me and you are buying his shirt. Who else left today? Charlie Patino has gone to Blackpool.
Yep.
Who else is anyone? Was there anyone else?
Not today. Don't think so. Yesterday, there's a couple of youth players that went to like Scotland and things like that over the last week. Um,
Yeah,
Cole Hine promoted officially to the first team as third choice goalkeeper.
yeah.
Okonkwo
So if we
went on
start,
loan as well.
if we start from the back going forward, so we start with the goalkeepers and the defense. To me, I only see one real weakness in the back five, and that's Cedric. Really, for me, I think you could probably put Holding in there, maybe, but when you want to defend a goal lead and you want to go five at the back, he's kind of perfect for that role. Like defend your 18-year-old box kind of defender. But in your
Yeah.
opinion, is there much you're worried about in that area of the pitch?
See, no, I don't think it is because last season Rob Holding got a bit of a raw end of the deal and he got slated quite a bit because obviously the sending off at Spurs put a lot of people against him, which I don't think it's right. I think well, you know what my opinion is with the referees, but
Uh,
um,
I mean, I slated the hell out of him. I'm not gonna lie.
yeah, I know. But realistically, for me, if say we were to lose Tomiyasu, for example, touching wood that we don't, but I think if we lose him, we've got Saliba to come in. If we get another injury to say like Gabriel, we've got Holding to come in. I think Ben White is expendable as a centre back, and I think that um where he can slot to the right back role, which he has done in preseason, it works because realistically, down the right hand side, we don't really have that need for the overlapping because the way that Erdegaard and Saka work, Erdegaard comes into these half spaces and does the quick interplay to allow Saka to come inside. Now it's down to Saka to go down the outside every now and again as well. So I think in that scenario, we're safe there with Ben White coming in and Rob Holding coming in as a centre back because although he's not maybe the best with the ball at his feet, you've got Ramsdale behind him that can spray passes. You've got Saliba next to him that can spray passes. You now got Sinchenko that can now spray passes. Even Tierney won't spray passes, but he'll do a quick little interchange and he's off down the line. So if you want a solid old school defender, which sometimes you need in certain games, Holding, for my opinion, is quite perfect for that. And I thought that a lot of the hate that he's getting at the moment is a bit unnecessary. But I can understand where people are going, and I know a lot of the tacticos on Twitter are going, yes, but passing out from the back, you need X, Y, Z. It's like, brother, sometimes you don't need that in every person in the back. You just need it in.
No, it's like the Newcastle game towards the end of the season. If we had Rob Holding, it'd have been perfect for that game because we
Yeah,
couldn't play out from the back because they pressed us too high. So you need
exactly.
someone on the edge of your box defending and slogging it out. Because
Yeah.
Callum Wilson, I know they were both half fit, but he bullied both Ben White and Gabriel that game.
Yeah,
If
and
we had Holding,
this is the thing is that hold if he was available, he comes in, probably puts Wilson up in the air, and Wilson goes missing for three-quarters of the game. Different story.
and doesn't score,
Yeah, yeah,
or Ben White scored the own goal, didn't he? But he put him under
yeah.
pressure. Yeah, well, that's a defence. Yeah, I don't think. even the goalkeepers. I know people are talking about Turner a lot and losing Leno as his backup to Ramsdale, but see, I don't think Turner's going to play all that much. Maybe the group stage of Europa, but as soon as you get into the deeper stages, Ramsdale's coming straight back in.
Yeah, I
And
think given the way that Arteta is and the way that we saw last season as well with consistent first team, I think with Turner, I think Turner was partly a commercial deal as well for the US. I think yes, he is the US number one keeper. Yes, he is a very good shot stopper. Is he at the level of Leno? Because let's be honest, Leno was too good to be a second goalkeeper. No, he's not to that standard, but I'd say he's not that far off it. His distribution's brilliant, by the way. Just watching like the the in-house training and also the couple matches that he come on and played in, his distribution is really good, and that's going to be beneficial against lesser teams if he plays. Um, I think the one thing that he will need to work on is coming to claim crosses and just figuring out the flight because the MLS it's quite slow paced. They don't really get bullied, but he's going to be under pressure and he's going to need to learn very quickly how to handle that. I think Hein Hein will be one that surprises people to be honest if he gets a chance because
he's
he's
already an
Estonia's
international keeper as well.
uh-huh Estonia's number one keeper. Got quite a few appearances for them. He where did he go last year? Can't remember where he went last year, but he done all right. I think he got injured towards the middle and end.
I
But
believe so. Yeah.
he's one that Arsenal were desperate to keep hold of because his contract was out in the summer and we managed to secure him down. So I think overall, keeper wise, I think that we're okay. But as you say, I don't unless there's a freak injury to Ramsdale. I don't think that there's going to be many games where either second or third get in. To be honest,
Yeah, I completely agree. So moving on to my favourite part of the pitch, into the midfield. We've got quite a few options in there. So if we just roll off names, you've got Partey, Elneny, Sambi Lukonga, Xhaka, Odegaard,
Vieira,
Smith Rowe, Vieira. Am I missing anyone? Don't believe I am.
no,
No. See, there's a lot of talk that we need another number eight, like left-sided number eight. I've made my opinions clear on Twitter. I think we should give the keys to Sambi for that position, and we should just buy a number six to back up Partey because people are right. If he's out of the team, the level drops drastically, and
yeah.
we'd have to change the system and all of the rest of it. In your opinion, with is there another midfielder that we should sign like in that position, number six, number eight? Where do you go?
See, I think for the number six role, I think that we've already got that covered in the squad. I know people are going to be unhappy about the answer, but unfortunately, that is. No, I'm not even going to say unfortunately. That is going to be El Neni. That's the whole reason why he was re-signed. And I know that people will point to some games saying, "No, he's not good enough." Blah blah blah. Yeah, but in the majority of games, he come in, especially last season against the bigger sides, and done extremely well. He actually held us through some of them games as well. To be perfectly honest, um, the guy just needs to be shown love. Like that's what he needs. But you've also think you've got Sambi Lukonga that can come in and play a six to a lesser extent. Um, Granit Xhaka can come and play as a six. But again, you've got then queries around his mobility and the way that he was used previously, well misused previously. I don't think Arteta would be silly enough to go down that route. But also, if you lose Partey, you've also got the ability to change to a 4-2-3-1. So you'll have Shaka on one side and you'll have Sambi or El Neni the other side. So realistically, with the 4-3-3 that we're playing, it does actually transition into a 4-2-3-1 at some points in the game. So the two are very similar, and we've got players that can cover. And I know people will say we need another centre midfielder. To a certain extent, I think that we do, but um, realistically, you've got Fabio Vieira that can play in the left centre midfield. You've got Sambi that can play there. You've got Erdegaard that can play in the right side of right centre midfield. Again, Vieira can play over that side. Smith Rowe can play as a left-sided centre mid. Do you know what I mean? So you've definitely got options there. I think a lot of people were saying about Tillemans and him coming in. For me, I think that it would be a good signing. Is it one that's going to progress his levels? I don't believe so. But I think as well that if we really want to go up levels in the midfield as well, I think Queta's probably going to be the one that we need to be targeting. I know that City's probably going to go after him after Silva goes off to Barca. But if we're quick and we're smart about it, we can get him for around 40 to 50 million euros. Just Leon need the money, still need money to improve. So just if you really want to improve that midfield, you slap it down because you're getting defensive work rate from him, you're getting flair, and you're getting the attacking ability of him to take the pressure off guard to be across the pitch so much. And also, if you're going to be playing Martinelli on the left, having Paqueta able to overlap him, underlap him, play quick transitional plays with him, and even intricate passing, it will unlock Martinelli a lot more. Because realistically, it's you're mirroring Erdegaard with Paqueta, with Saka and Martinelli inside of them. So, and then also you got the added benefit of Jesus in front. So, I think if we do go for a centre midfielder, I think that's the guy to do it. Just I've got question marks about Tillemans, and also the way that Edu spoke about doing things quietly. Tillemans is way, way, way too public, and I just don't think that it fits the narrative of of what Edu said. I know the deal's quite obvious to be there, but I just don't think it is.
Yeah, I agree. I tweeted this morning, and just a shameless plug, you can find us on Twitter at Daily Gooner Sam and Daily Gooner Ryan. We do tweet a lot. But I tweeted this morning and I said, I don't think Tielemans is that guy. We need a goal
Mm,
scoring midfielder. I don't think he gets enough goals
no.
or assists, even at that. Yeah, his build up is good. He's a deep line playmaker. Yeah, brilliant. But in that left sided eight, as we've seen with Xhaka in that position, they don't score enough goals.
Mm,
And if you want someone like that in the middle, just might as well play a 4-2-3-1 instead of a left sided eight. I think I said in the tweet, I said I think Fabio Vieira, once adapted to the team and the league intensity and all the rest of it, I think he'd be a better player than Tielemans. So I wouldn't personally spend 25 to 35 million on a player that may or may not be better than someone you already have. And I
exactly.
think Lokonga, uh, Joe asked in the chat, Lokonga in his interview said he's not sure if he's a six or an eight. I think he's an eight. Vincent Company thinks he's an eight. Yeah, in his
Well,
interview, he compared him to Yaya Toure.
yeah, exactly that.
So that I think if you're going to spend big in that position, you go and get someone like Conor Gallagher.
Mm,
Just if you want someone that's going to make you better, who can do both, who can score goals from midfield as well as do the deep line stuff, someone like him. So just push the boat out. Obviously, Chelsea probably won't sell to us, but someone like that who we saw him. against us last year, he had Partey on strings the whole game. Partey had
Yeah.
to go off injured. That's how much he pressured him.
Yeah. Well, it's not even just Partey, it's the whole it was the whole back four as well. Any time Conor Gallagher went anywhere near our back line, there was like, no, I don't want the ball, see you later. And then it was just
Yeah,
misplaced passes. And like he's that type of player that disrupts. So I think in terms of that, do you want a disruptor or do you want a flair or combination of both? But also just to touch on Joe's question, in regards to Lokonga, I think that you're going to see a lot more of him in the left-sided eight, probably in Europe as well. Um, I think that you're going to see real progression with him. But if worse comes to worse, he can sit in as an eight. I watched that interview and I think that he said that the guy asked him about his Chelsea goal and he goes, "What is you doing there?" And then he was saying about playing in the left sided midfield, he's able to go box to box, he's able to get in the opposition box. Whereas if he's playing as a six, he can't be too far away from our box. So he's got the discipline to do both. I think realistically to really see the best of him, you're going to see the best of him in the number eight position, I believe.
completely agree. Completely agree. Um, as this topic is the state of the squad, we do have some players in the middle that are still here that we probably do want to move on. The likes of, we forgot Pablo Mari, he's probably going to leave to Monza. But in the middle of the pitch, we've got Torreira and Ainsley Maitland-Niles.
Of course, yeah.
I've made my feelings known on social media on both of them. Like, I don't get Maitland-Niles. I don't understand it. He could be an elite fullback, elite, but he just is so obsessed with playing in midfield. I know your feelings on him, Lucas Torreira as well. I think he's just being spoiled at this point. He's waiting for rumors are he's waiting for Valencia. Uh,
Yeah.
Everything's agreed with Galatasaray, and he's just waiting for Valencia to come in. I mean, at this point, it's good riddance to both of them. From in my opinion, I don't know what
Yeah,
you'll agree.
for me, Maitland Niles, I agree with you. I think that if people were around him advised him correctly, he'd become an England international as a left sided fullback or wing back. I think he transitions over to the right hand side. He's adept at that as well. The one criticism that I've got of him in fullback is he loses concentration. He can look lackadaisical on the ball. So I've got concerns about that, and also his passing is a bit from deep positions. And if somebody hassles him, he does get in a in a muddle. Um, when he plays in midfield, he's just not good enough for midfield. It's simple facts. He's just not good enough. He went to West Brom. He done absolutely nothing there, nothing. And you you think he went to Roma to play as a midfielder? They played him as right back majority of the time he
When
was
they
there.
played him,
Yeah,
when
yeah,
they played him,
exactly that. He got dubbed the worst signing in Serie A. It was like, ouch. But like
yeah.
Ainsley, and the thing is as well with Ainsley is that he needs to realize his limitations. He thinks that he can do everything. Yes, he may be one of the boys at the training ground and things like that, especially with the English boys coming through. But you've got to think, buddy, you're not that guy where you're just not that guy that's going to be the starting 11 week in week out. You're that guy that comes in when you got injuries. You're that rotational guy. You're the guy that sees the game out with 3 minutes to go, and it's just like whatever position the manager puts you in, shut your mouth and get on with it. Do you know what I mean? Like in the summer, oh, I just want to play. Fuck off then. Do you know what I mean? It's like where are you getting this from? But
Yeah,
with
I mean,
Torreira, sorry, go on.
I was just gonna just touching on Maitland Niles. We both have season tickets. We watched him at the start of the season. He played in midfield against Norwich. and we've struggled. We
Mm,
barely won 1-0. And then we played, was it Watford, when Partey and Xhaka were both injured? And he played in midfield as Sambi then, and we struggled.
yeah,
He's just not, he's not the type of midfielder that we need. I don't like saying this about a player, but I feel like he's a relegation battling midfielder, someone that plays on the counter attack. He's
yeah.
got the energy, the box to box, this building up, playing out. I'm not sure of him in the midfield for a top team. It was saying about Lucas Torreira. Sorry.
Torreira he's a surprising one, to be honest. Like we pandered to his request last year. It seems that we're not so much pandering to him this year because we want money for him, whereas Valencia want him on a free. I just think like with him, he was such a fan's favourite. We've got to a point now where we're just like, oh, just get out of the club, get out of the club. Like stop piss balling about. Just get out of the club. Like he he's very disappointing. And the thing is, as well, he's tanked his transfer fees, and he only wants to go here or he wants to go there. And then next thing you know, he's agreeing deals with Galatasaray. It's like, sorry, I thought you wanted to stay in Italy. So what's that all about? Now you want to go off
I think,
to now you want to go to Valencia, and you just think to yourself, make your mind up and go. Like
yeah,
you've got the opportunity. It's like just go. Like yeah, he's just the most disappointing out of the lot, to be honest.
I think what's really annoyed me personally is the interviews he does. He says he's not happy in England, which fair enough. He didn't
Yeah,
adapt to the country. Well, that's fine, completely fine. But don't go crying into the media every so often. Oh, you have a good game. Oh, I just don't want to play in England. I want to go. I want to stay in Italy. Da 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 da.
yeah,
Then he did an interview saying that he doesn't want to play in Europe anymore. He wants to go to Boca Juniors. Tanked his
yeah.
value even more because Boca. Wait, I love Boca Juniors, but they are not going to afford his wages and what we want.
I think
And
they've got
then we give
what?
in, we give him on loan to Fiorentina for nothing. We pay half the wages, and then they don't take up the buy option, trying to get him cheaper,
Mm.
which he's annoyed at them about.
You just don't
And
go and
then
call the president a clown either. Like if that's a club that you love and you want to go to, why call him a clown?
and then he goes on tour with Arsenal, says he needs to go for family issues, pictured with Fiorentina players on holiday, goes to Uruguay to watch their stadium one of their stadiums get reopened, comes back to England, doesn't train with the boys. What? He's tanked his value so much. He had a player of the season type season at Fiorentina last year,
Mm.
and we can't even get 5 million for the guy at the moment,
Like that realistically, if you look at player valuation, that's a 20 million euro player minimum. Minimum.
even with his contract running down.
Yeah. Well, so what? He's got 2 years left.
I think he's got a year, but I think we may have an option. I'm not certain of that.
But even
Well,
still, it's just like it's a 20 million euro player, so that's what 18 million minimum, and he's one of these players that hasn't got that stigma attached to him saying, "Oh, he was a part of that Arsenal team that didn't do too well," because he goes out gets like player of the season at Fiorentina. You think,
he had a good season at Atletico Madrid as well the season before. Like he had a good
yeah,
season there.
yeah, and you think since he
I
was
don't even think he was bad for us. I thought he was quite good for us until Emery changed him into a
God,
different position.
less said about Emery, the better.
Yeah. Anyway, we could talk about these sort of players for
Forever.
forever, but let's move on to the most exciting part of the pitch: the forward line. You've got Smith Rowe, Martinelli, Eddie Nketiah, Jesus, Saka, Pepe, Nelson, and Marquinhos. Now, I've heard some things about Marquinhos. He
Mm,
gets me really excited. And it's just safe to say, I think he's not going on loan.
nah, nah. Especially
But
after
I
what
think that
Granit Xhaka come out and said the other day as well.
he from what I've heard, he's adapted very, very, very quickly, and he's electric in training.
He's
So
got the build for it.
I personally, yeah, I personally wouldn't loan him. I would let him fight it out with Saka, as well as signing a player that can play across the three. Personally,
Mm,
because then you have three in each position whenever.
yeah.
But that means I do want to sell Nicholas Pepe and Reece Nelson.
Yeah, yeah. Like let's get it straight with Pepe. Hindsight, it was a mistake to spend that much on him, but ultimately, it's one of them where he he just hasn't adapted to being a possession based player. He's brilliant on the counter attack and in half spaces, but we don't play like that for him. It's a complete. It's like Edu said, where with Emery, you don't know and you can't figure out the manager's or coach's system. It's hard to buy players, and I think that was he was speaking specifically about that situation because Emery liked to play on the counter attack, but then on the other hand, we was better than the majority of the teams that were coming, and we end up playing possession. So it's like, what are we? We counter attacking, we possession. I don't know. And then obviously we got to the stage where we got conceded about 35 shots against Watford. But it's he's one of them players that unfortunately fell into that category where Emery it's an Emery mistake because he wasn't the right fit for the club and that wasn't recognised throughout the hierarchy either. And obviously with Sanelli, I think there was some dodgy dealings with that deal, to say the least. To be honest, but I think with Pepe, he doesn't fit the system. I would probably say you're going to get a late £20 million bid from Newcastle at some point if they don't sort out their attacking situation. Um, I think as well with Nelson, he just his time's gone.
It's his injuries, man. It's his
Yeah,
injuries. He
yeah,
has
his
two
time.
good games and he's injured for 6 weeks. Like,
Yeah,
come on, dude.
yeah, and and he's not that point now where he's an 18-year-old that you can think, okay, they might grow out of this. He's what now, 22. So if you're not growing out of it by 22, your career is going to be littered. And I think that he done well in Holland, but I think that that's primarily down to the pace of the league. He's suited to a slow league because he's still got that little bit of explosiveness, but he can't do it repeatedly. It's like he explodes, he has to recharge for a couple of minutes, then goes again. Um,
Yeah.
so realistically, if you're looking for a player to play across the three, for me, I don't know about yourself, I'd be staying in Holland and be looking at Gakpo because he's going to be that player that's going to be monstrous.
He's that guy.
Yeah, he's
He's
that
that
guy.
guy.
Do you know what I mean? And he's what 6'2", 6'3". He
He
scored
is indeed.
scored what 40 odd goals across all comps, I think. Mm,
Something like that.
something like that. And then he's
Ridiculous.
to add insult to injury, like 20 odd assists again across all comps. And you think,
Isn't he captain as well?
yeah. So again, buys into Edu's and Arteta's winning mentality, buys into a player that fits the mold in terms of being young and young and able. He's he's again another one that's electric. He can come in, play as centre forward and hold the ball up and bring others in. He can play on the wing and interchange with all of the front three. Again, like everyone else in that front three, can play intricate little passes. And some of the goals that he scores cutting in from the left, life. Honestly, the boy has got a good long shot on him as well.
I, I completely agree with you. I think he's the one. I think someone said to me that reminded them of an early Van Persie,
Mm,
and I think that's pretty spot on. Really,
yeah,
can create, can score. Yeah, well, that's the front line. I'm completely happy with the front line of it. Even if Pepe stays, he stays. Do you know what I mean?
yeah. Just
So
give me, sorry, just give me 1 second. I need to grab a charger. This laptop is dying. Give
should
me,
have been prepared, man.
I
You need
know,
it.
I know, I know, I know. One
First
second.
time back in how long, and you're not prepared? What is this?
You can what's
So
name? You can carry it for a
it's all
minute.
right. I'll entertain the people. It's all right. It's all right. That's what I do. So chat. Let me know in the comments if you have any questions for me, and I will answer them while Sammy, in his unprepared self, unorganized as usual, gets his charger for his laptop. So if you've got any questions, pop them in the chat, and I will do my best to answer them. If not, I'll see how it is. You just don't want to talk to me, and I'll be sat here in silence for a good 5 minutes. But yeah, proper excited about this season. Me and Sammy renewed our season tickets this month. So yeah, we're going to be going to every home game, which would be fun. The atmosphere has been a lot better recently than last season. Anyway, it was a lot better than what it was the season before, and all the rest of it. What do you guys think in the chat about the North London Forever song? I sing my heart out to it, even at work. Once Sammy's back, which looks like his laptop has died now, we'll be getting into our season predictions, like top four relegated teams, top goal scorer, top assister, overachievers, underachievers, flop of the season, signing of the season, all that kind of stuff. And yeah, I think my list is going to be quite controversial. I wouldn't say I'm a controversial person, but my football opinions do seem to divide opinion in our group chats. That's for sure. I can't believe he's done this. I can't believe he's done this. I'm gonna message him.
Sorry.
Ah, hurrah! He's back.
Sorry.
Jesus Christ! I'm a bit disappointed. I asked the chat for questions and I've got none. But I was just saying to him that we're going to be doing our season predictions now.
Yes.
When we talked about topics, I didn't really know where you was going with this prediction. I didn't know if it was just for Arsenal or for the league itself. So I put my spin on it, and I'm going to say we're going to predict the top four relegated teams, top goal scorer, top assister, overachievers, underachievers, sign of the season, and flop of the season.
Okay.
Can you remember all of that?
Not a chance.
That's all right. I remember. I'll tee you up, and you just have to hit them off it. All right.
Right.
So champions, who's winning the league for you?
City.
Yes, that's who I had. I can't look past Erling.
Nah.
Top four? Who's your top four?
So City, Liverpool, us, Chelsea.
I went City, Liverpool, Arsenal, Spurs. I think United are a mess. I think Chelsea are a mess.
I think Chelsea
I
will
think
sort it
Spurs.
out though.
Oh, I don't know. Don't know. They just seem to be buying anyone and everyone.
Yeah.
Relegated teams.
Bournemouth. Who come up? Watford. No, not Watford.
Now Watford went down.
Yeah, Bournemouth. Forest. Everton to go down.
I went Bournemouth, Leeds, Everton.
Nah, I think Leeds will be all right under Jesse Marsh.
Oh, I don't know. From what we saw at the Emirates that day, oh,
Yeah, I know, but
they
they've
ready to fight for people.
yeah, but they've strengthened well. With one of my favourites
But they
actually.
lost their two best players.
Yeah, but
Lost their two best players.
they've strengthened well, losing Phillips and getting Mark Rocker in.
Yeah, fair enough. They signed Tyler Adams as well, didn't they?
I
Actually,
think so, yeah.
yeah. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I am wrong on that one. Actually, I can't think of anyone else right now off the top of my head. Actually, we'll go Brentford. I think Brentford might go down.
I think
I can't see where they.
they'll be in bouts here, but I
I
think they've
see.
got enough.
Mm, if Tony doesn't score, I worry for them.
Yeah, they've got that Darmstadt potentially coming in. It'll be good.
Also from Sampdoria.
Yeah,
No way. He's a decent player. Him.
he is
I
indeed. I
suppose he'd
think
be
he's only
replacing
about
Ericsson.
18 million or something like that.
That's, he's the one that scored against England, isn't it? The free kick.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Maybe. I can't really think of anyone else. So I'll stick with Leeds. Um, top goal scorer. There's a few.
There is. I am gonna go with Nunes, but Jesus very close.
Nunes. I'm gonna go Mohamed Salah.
Interesting.
Running down the way. Um, top assister of the season.
Kane.
Kane. Yeah, actually, I can see that. I can actually see that.
Yeah, I just think that
Uh,
given the way that him and Son link up, and also you're getting Richarlison in there as well, I think that he'll assist plenty.
yeah, fair enough. I went controversial. I said Ericsson.
Hmm,
He's got Ronaldo
okay.
in front of him. I can't look past that.
Well,
But then
has
De
he though?
Bruyne. De Bruyne. Forgot about De Bruyne. He's got Haaland as well.
Yeah. Well, they're not on sync at the moment.
So give it time. Once
Yeah.
they're in sync.
Yeah. Nah. What's the name?
Signing of the season.
Jesus.
Yeah. Trying to think who else other people have signed. I can't look past Zinchenko, to be honest. I think he's just going to be an absolute baller for us.
Yeah, that's true. Actually, I'm gonna split this into top half and lower half. Think Jesus for 10 up, and then probably Mark Rocker 10 down, 11 down even.
I think uh, Schmaka, Samaka as well
Yeah,
for
West
West Ham.
Ham.
Flop of the season.
Basuma, just for shits and gigs.
Oof. I went Koulibaly.
See, no, I think he'll do all right. He'll do fine at Chelsea
I don't
because
know.
you think the way that they play at the moment with Marcus Alonso on the left, you put Cucurella there, you're extending the ability of Chelsea down that left hand side because he's literally just an engine up and down, whereas Marcus Alonso's goes forwards and he doesn't come back.
True. It's very true. Right, overachievers.
Ooh. West Ham.
I went Newcastle. I think they're going to get top 7.
Ooh, interesting.
I think they strengthened well with Botman.
Mm.
And who else did they sign?
I
Pretty
think
sure they
as
signed
well.
someone else.
They got bottom.
Underachievers.
Oh, Brighton. I think they'll literally just finish above relegation.
I went Palace. I think they're too good to be in the bottom half.
I reckon they'll get
I
10th.
think they will. I think they should be knocking on the door with Newcastle.
Yeah.
Vieira's such a good manager, and they've made some really, really good signings.
Yeah, to be honest, I've
Right,
not really
so
looked at them.
I've segued that into the next topic. We do actually play Crystal Palace on Friday. It's going to be a very, very difficult game. We got absolutely slapped last season at Selhurst Park. We
Mm.
couldn't get out at all. How do you see this one faring?
Do you know what? I think that we'll play. We'll probably win 3-1 because I think if we control the middle, we'll be all right. Um, if we can cut that passage off to Saha again, I think we'll be good. The geezer that they've got up front, the oh, what's his name? Not Benteke, the other one,
Matata?
Matata. That's it. Um, he had a bit of a field day against us last year. But I think given Saliba, with his physicality, presence, and things like that, he'll nullify that aspect. I think Gabriel will be a bit more drop offish, so he's not constantly going to win the ball all the time. Um, Again, Jesus being in and about the box, I think that will be a big headache for them because as well he can come off and play deeper, and then spinning behind, and I think that's where we struggled last year. I think Saka as well, given the midfield and how we're now setting up, that'll give him a bit more. And I think that having Martinelli fit, ready, and raring to go, will give him will give their fullback a bit of a headache. But
Yeah.
generally, I think that we've got enough.
Yeah, I think we've got a proper settled, but touchwood, nothing happens until Friday.
Mm.
Um, I think we've got a settled starting 11, the 11 that played against Sevilla. What I like as well is if they press us very high, like they did last season, we've got the pace in behind now. Ramsdale can ping it long, Martinelli will chase, Jesus will chase, Saka will chase. And I think that that will give them put their defenders in two minds because then do they drop back so they don't run in behind and leave the space for Saka and Odegaard to weave magic like we've seen them do. Because if they press too high, then we go over the top. If they sit back, then you've got the technicality in midfield to pick them off, make the right passes. So I think you're right. I think we'll have too much for them. I think I'm going to go 2-0. I think we'll keep a clean sheet.
Yeah, just looking at their signings as well. They brought in Czech Decore for defensive midfield to replace Kouyaté.
Yeah, he's a good player.
Sorry. Um, Chris Richards, I believe he plays
He's
centre
a
back
right
or right
back,
back.
is he?
Sam Johnston, which not too bad, but he's always due a clanger. And then Malcolm Ebwobi.
Oh, is he the winger from Derby?
Yeah. So
Exciting young player, I think.
I think given I think Elise is still injured. So that takes away a
They
big.
do have Eze though. Eze's back now.
They do, they do. It depends how. It really does depend how Vieira is going to play because I think if Eze is going to play, I think he's probably better in just behind, just like the way Conor Gallagher done last year. But if he plays it as a wide, we've got enough to deal with him. So I
Yeah,
think,
I think we're gonna overrun them in midfield. I
yeah,
think Zinchenko popping into the middle with Ben White popping into the three, um, the three up in front of Saliba and Gabriel. I think be too much for him. And then you got Odegaard and Xhaka pinging passes between each other. I think we'll have too much.
mm.
I hope.
So just going back to what we were saying to Chelsea and Cucurella, no agreements.
Wait, Fabrizio, here we go then.
Yeah, no, Brighton come out with a club statement. Mark Cucurella, contrary to inaccurate reports from numerous media outlets this evening, no agreement has been reached with any club to sell Mark Cucurella.
Well, it's interesting.
Yeah. So
Right,
scores.
that's all our topics. Our scores. You said 3-1, I said 2-0.
Oh yeah, we did.
Yeah, I segue into these things, mate. Don't worry about that.
Alrighty,
So
alrighty.
we have finished all the topics. There is a bonus topic at the end of this podcast, if Sam wants to talk about it, which is the documentary that comes out tomorrow, the All or Nothing. We've seen clips. I don't know if Sam's seen them. I've unfortunately been pushed to see them. Thank you, my group chat wankers. But I saw a speech from Stuart, the photographer, today, and I swear to God, it would be the exact same speech I would give if I was in that room before Spurs.
Yeah, he gave it a proper fan speech. I'm just going by what I've heard. Not watched it. Not going any near anything. Twitter's probably going to be off tomorrow until I can probably watch it at work. But um, yeah,
He,
it's
he said
definitely
something.
interesting.
He said something to the team. I don't want to spoil it for you, obviously, but he said something to the team, and it happened in the first 5 minutes, and he was completely right.
Good,
Once that
good.
happened, the game was basic. It felt like the game was won with that, with those words and that action straight away. And
Is that where
yeah,
is that
I loved
where
it.
Arteta had his arm around him after the game, just pointing at him? Yeah.
Yeah,
I think I think as well what we as fans need to understand is with this all or nothing, it's not to compare it against the Brazil one, the Spurs one, the Man City one, uh, any of the American ones. It's about our club. We are privileged to be able to see what goes on inside our club and have that insight, regardless of whether other teams fans are taking the mick or they've got their own comments on it going, oh, that's cringy, this, that, whatever. It's not as good as our one, blah, blah. But this is for us. This isn't for them, it's for us. Like, no doubt there'll be memes going about a bit. People will say about the never walk alone bit. But the thing is that these are techniques that all clubs are probably doing. It's just something that we're seeing. But for me, it brings us close to the club, and we get to see more, and that's what ultimately what people want. Because inside How End Academy, the first episode on that, brilliant. Don't know what Arsenal's playing out with the second and third.
been, it's been delayed for after All or Nothing.
Yeah,
Can't coincide apparently.
fair enough. But even still, that's seen inside the academy. Now we're seeing inside the first 11, the main team. And I think it will give people a lot more insight around Arteta, Edu, how they do things. I hope they address January. Um, But yeah, I just think that's something that's for us, and we should block out anything else from any other squad.
Yeah, I said in our group chat earlier, I think the things I'm looking forward to the most are seeing the Aubameyang situation, how Arteta dealt with that.
Yeah,
What did he say to him, like in that conversation? And after Spurs and Newcastle, those two games, I want to see the aftermath. I want to see who had the balls to be like, we need to stand up. We've messed up. We've ruined the end of the season. But we go from here. We build on this kind of thing. I want to see who the leaders are. I have a feeling I know who they are and who spoke the most, but I want to see it. I want to see it.
yeah.
Well, I think that sums up this welcome back episode. I think there's nothing else to talk about. Is there any more business on your end?
No, I don't think so. Other than say, obviously, to subscribe to the channel, the usual YouTube stuff. Subscribe to us on Twitter. We've also got our own website, so there's going to be plenty of content coming on there. A lot more to come from us. And yeah, as we say, we're back. We're going to be weekly episodes. On a Wednesday, 8:30 UK time. So just set reminders, and then we'll be back, and we're here.
Yeah, just to reiterate what Sam said, Daily Greener Pod on Twitter, Daily Greener Pod on TikTok. I will be uploading on there. Any daily news, I will be covering that for us. Instagram, the Daily Greener Podcast. Sam on Twitter is Daily Greener Sam. I am Daily Greener Ryan. We've got Daily Greener Jake, Jacob, and Daily Greener Raf. Follow us all on there. Hit up all our socials. We love interacting with all of you. And yeah, if you've got any questions, get them in the chat now before we go. Otherwise, we're not going to answer them. Yeah, it's good to be back, baby.
Yes, indeed.
Right, you've got 3 seconds. Otherwise, we're leaving. No questions. All right, let's go.
Right, no, honestly,
Let's hope
good,
Arsenal win.
good to be back. Arsenal win at the weekend, and once for all, thanks for watching.
Come back next time.